Your mannerism too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're on. All right.
Hello, folks. We're running a little behind. We had a couple of workshops with our trash person, or one workshop, and he was concerned about being able to pick up the trash because of the conditions of the road and roads being treated and not treated. So hopefully we developed a little plan where our trash contractor will contact us after storms on roads that were not treated, and we can contact the appropriate plowing contractor and get the roads treated so the trash can get picked up. So it's been a little difficult the last month because, as most of you know, we've had storms on Thursday and Friday. Friday's our trash pickup day, so I
Yes.
think. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we need to mechanize then how that chain of communication is going to happen. You're
Right.
saying he's going to let us know and we're going to let the plow contractor know.
Correct.
The office is not open on Friday, so.
Well, it's not going to happen on Friday.
Yeah, it won't happen until
Okay.
you know, that'd
Okay.
be my guess.
All right.
No, but you're right. If there's a significant storm coming on
Like
Thursday,
like this week.
yeah, he's going to have to. But he'd just have to let us know what roads and who lets know and all that good stuff. We'll have to
Yeah.
work out if it
That's all
happens
I
to be on a
said. Yeah,
Saturday.
we need to
yeah.
figure out that chain of communication. Thank you.
So, let's try, our town clerk is going to be a few minutes late. And consequently, so we'll wait on her report. We'll go through the last week's agenda to make sure it reflects what happened. And the bills that need to be approved and paid.
Do you have one of these I can have?
So people just be a little patient
Tack.
because there's dead airspace doesn't mean we're not working hard. No, working,
There, it's
or here,
Right. And alive.
alive. For those long-term listeners, if you remember, we tried to play music during this interlude. And we got yelled at because it was illegal to play elevator music or something. We didn't have permits or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was shut off automatically because of that.
Automatically?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Took it right off?
Yeah.
Heavy duty.
Facebook put a message up and says, we disabled your music
didn't
because
have
it's
the rights.
copyrighted stuff. Yeah, now we can probably find some stuff in the general public domain, rather.
Jeez.
I should do that so we can have it ready
Yeah, for
for the occasion like this.
You have in this Spectrum bill here, did we pay the first? This includes a no, it says payment, previous statement. I don't know.
What's the bottom line? Should be 120 something.
Yeah, 381.
And I
Oh.
made a note that one has been paid, the outstanding amount.
So there must be 2 on there then that we haven't paid.
Can you get it?
Yeah, I can get it.
Okay.
I pulled a muscle. There's something in my side, so I'm
Oh.
not reaching too far. So I have to stand up.
Hey.
And,
Welcome to advanced age.
we want to make sure that Spectrum bill stays up to date. We don't want them shutting that off.
Tim, what was it, you added some money onto the warrant?
Payroll,
Gross payroll?
yep.
Is that what that means? Okay. Why wouldn't it be added onto here?
Because it's not on the thing that, the warrant review.
Will it be? Should it be?
No, it won't be. You can't run the check register until after the check's run.
So we always have to add this in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we gotten all the bills in from the storm that we're trying
As far as I know, Gordon's is the last one,
to? Okay.
best of my knowledge.
Now, is that something we go through Matt Camera on for emergency?
If they declare it, haven't heard they declared it yet.
Okay. But we're ready.
A question or a statement?
Both.
Okay. Did you get an answer? Because I don't know if we're ready.
Well, I mean, we can at least see if we're eligible.
Okay.
Then we'll make sure we're ready.
Okay.
All right, folks. those were just mostly just normal bills, just like everyone gets for your telecommunications, for your cable. And the town gets the same bills. We had no ads in the shopping guide. The CEO is working on his report format so that we can have an up-to-date list monthly of the CEO's activities. And then come annual report time, we'll have a complete report on a year's basis of building permits, plumbing permits, and activity in the town. We have the animal control sent her report in, as she does monthly.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, sorry, bi-weekly. I don't know whether it looks like the same animal 3 times, but on Pendexter. A couple cats and a dog, so a normal activity. We've already received our York County's report. Planning Board. The January 4th minutes. Which is, I'm sure, on our website right now. Procedural issues, and longtime member Andy Yale has resigned from the planning board.
Really? I didn't see that. Bummer.
Certainly the select board would like to thank Andy for his years of dedication to the town and trying to do the right thing. Comprehensive Committee, it's scheduled to meet this evening at 6 o'clock. I don't know whether Harvey's considered this a snow date and wants to go with the 31st. Do you have any view, Andy?
He's doing it tomorrow night, tonight.
Tonight, okay, so Comprehensive Committee is this evening at 6 o'clock. A little separate letter here from Andy, just resigning from the planning board as of 1/18. I wish you all the best and continue to serve the citizens of Parsonsfield. I don't think, Dave, you have anything on Secaucus Road at all?
No. No.
They have gone underground for the winter.
Well, I haven't tried to contact them, but I know they would contact us if there was
Anything
I will
going
do
on,
that
right?
before next meeting. Yeah.
On the mill, the purchase and sale agreement, our copy has gone to the Mouse's attorney, who wanted to come back with some questions. And we're referring her back to our attorney because I think our purchase and sales agreement was pretty complete and covered everything the town needed covered. So we'll see what the if there's any concerns. David Hastings apparently is still doing some work for the Mouses on the title and title insurance, marketability and all that good stuff. So that's coinciding with this, so to speak. The Stanley Building had a Zoom meeting last week on the 18th. And the bottom line is it's been extended another 21 days.
At least.
Well, then I guess our attorney has,
He has 21 days to respond to the new stuff that the
Yeah.
judge is allowing Stanley Building's attorney
in,
in.
so,
And this is why I think we should nip this one. We're past the bud, but, oh well, I'll bring that up at when it's my turn.
okay. We turned our tax property growth factor in as of April 1st. Our assessors did it. And the property growth factor is 0.0154, which is not much.
Is that based on assessment, do you know?
You know, based on, so the old value, new construction, all that good stuff.
Okay.
It should be in the,
I'm sure it's here, I gotta look at it. Okay, you don't need to hold up.
7.3.
All right. We'll have 7.
Our southern contractor for snow plowing, Mark Fisher, sent us a note.
A note?
A note. Well, 2 pages of what's happening in the southern section. And I guess the bottom line is we all realize that it's the most difficult section because of the mixture of dirt roads and paved roads, but that's the job. He's got to do it. So that's one of the reasons why we had a meeting with the disposal people today, because it's all interrelated.
Mr. Fisher was very new to plowing when he took this. And I think maybe it wasn't the best section for someone to learn on. That's the only thing I can throw at it right at the moment. But we're 3 years in though. The learning curve should be coming around.
Yeah.
And I understand he's changed drivers a few times, but the route needs to be planned better, I believe, and And like the turnaround problem, he claims there's a turnaround problem, which there very well may be, but that should have been addressed this summer because he's plowed the roads for the last 2 years. So we would have already known that there was no turnarounds or poor turnarounds, and we could have added to them.
Yeah.
The middle of the winter is not a great time. We can't really remedy the situation. The salt on the dirt roads, making them soft. I did ride around his roads today, and the dirt roads, I was very surprised at how not froze they were. And I'm assuming that they've been getting salt, which he did state is tricky when you have a road that turns from tar to dirt. But it's pretty common practice to know that you try to run straight sand on dirt roads because you don't want them to thaw, which they did seem, all the ones that, I guess it was Middle Road mostly that I went down today that seemed quite thawed. Hasty Road did not seem thawed to me. I went down that. They all look fine today other than the huge divots where he's peeled up some soft dirt that wasn't thawed. Like I said, I wasn't on them the day of the storm, so I can't speak to that.
So if they're frozen solid, I mean, come the middle of February, is it still an issue with putting salt on them? I don't know. I'm asking.
Maya could tell you for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I do know that the salt will take the frost, and it might not. It won't take the frost out of the ground, but it will soften up the top 2 or 3 inches.
Okay, so that's still an issue.
Especially towards the end of February, because the sun's getting higher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Later in the year, the sun's getting higher.
Did the ground really get frozen?
Not
this
as
year?
well as sometimes, but it doesn't take much to freeze the ground, especially a gravel road that's driven on all the time. As you drive on it, somehow it packs it. You know, it drives the frost into the ground. You know what I'm saying? A well-packed gravel road, but when you put the salt down, it takes the frost out of it. You know, not down 2 feet, but this much. And
Enough to cause problems with.
well, yeah, if you plow that much dirt off, it's quite a bump in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But there's places on Mill Road that there's a bump I had to come to a dead stop to get over today, you know. So, where the ground was completely, and it was at the intersection of, it's on the backside of Merrill Hill, and all I can assume is during the huge washout, maybe a bunch of salt, you can see that's where it washed, you know, and maybe all the salt came down and washed into the, I don't know. And then when he left the hot top, he grabbed the dirt.
Yeah. So, can we use just sand on those?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we have these small bills from Mills's, because Jeff will go get just straight sand down to Mills's and use it on Pendexter, Devereaux, on this end of town.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, over there, I don't know how easily accessible it is over there. It's not something you can put in your truck and ride around with all day because it'll freeze. That's what we use, and you have like an hour and a half on a 20-degree day before it starts to freeze in your sander. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if they have easy access at Mills and they're open, they can throw it in and do their roads. Over there, I don't know if you can do that at Tar Box as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not certain. I'm not sticking up for Mark. There is challenges, but there's challenges. But we've had contractors that have done the whole thing before with less trucks.
Right.
And yes, the demographic of people has changed. People want things now and they want it done different. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, people wouldn't have said boo, but it's not that way anymore.
They're happy the road got plowed.
Yes, it's just not how it is anymore. So.
Well, there are some timing issues too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is ongoing.
It's a work in progress, and
Yeah.
It's going to have to be highly discussed.
No, we asked
During
Alan to document,
Correct.
as I said, and the time that he tried to go down.
Right.
It'll be highly discussed and stressed in the next plow contract, which is coming up
Yeah.
this summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We have some information here on community-related grants, workshops, and learning resources. And think we should probably go through this and see if there's anything that, first I know we need help. If there's grants out there, you have to write the request for the grants, and that takes a special knowledge or in grant writing. So in order to participate in any of these things, you might have to go to a few of these workshops and find out exactly what's available. Is Danielle, did she run? She was in and she ran away.
She's right behind it.
Oh, you were hiding behind the agenda.
Right
I'm
here.
sorry.
So I guess that means you're on? Is that right?
Danielle is on.
Okay,
I'm on.
you're on.
Just an update from our office. We have a brand new sparkly printer. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
I've enjoyed it also.
We did our first motor vehicle report today, and it was fabulous.
So now you have a lot more spare time because
It's great. It's less stressful, that's for sure.
Where'd the old one end up?
the gym.
It's in the back. for
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
in the
Okay.
back room right now.
All
We
right.
gotta find a corner for it till our next electronic drop off.
Okay. Can we use it for like a plant holder or something?
Yeah.
We did send out foreclosure reminder notices out on January 12th. We have had some movement on those notices, which is great. We will be sending out 30 to 45 day notices January 31st. Right now, we currently have a list of 16 properties. Community Cafe is tomorrow at 11 a.m. It will be offered the last Wednesday of each month. Carriage House is preparing the food. It's sponsored by the Senior Central and Southern Maine Agency on Aging. The menu is posted on our website and Facebook page, and they are asking you to sign up ahead of time. I think it did close last Friday for this one, but you can look forward to it the last Wednesday of every month. I did talk to Pamela Pride, and as of Friday, she had 38 people signed up.
Wow.
38?
Yep.
That's great.
That is
Outstanding.
good.
So, and Carriage House did donate a place setting of 50 settings for people, so I think that's.
Who did?
The
Carriage House?
Yeah.
50 places?
Yep.
I thought he was gonna take that back and forth. I mean, didn't he say he was gonna take the dishes back and forth?
That's what Jen said. I'm not
Is
sure.
this so? They're not going to do that every month, are they? I mean, they're going to donate every month.
They have volunteered to do
Yeah.
it every month.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Really?
rotate through 6 or 8 different menus.
yep.
Really?
Yeah. Now we'll see long term how that works out
Right.
for both sides, mostly for them. But
So if
yeah,
people
it's
are
great.
60 and over, a suggested donation is $8. And if you're not 60 and over, you can still sign up, but the price is $10. We did post it. It's a very nice menu: salad, meatloaf, apple crisp,
They have good meatloaf.
mashed potatoes, the whole 9 yards. So
Bacon wrapped?
Yeah.
big wrap.
See, you could have signed up. I sent it to you too.
Just wanted to mention a winter weather reminder, since winter is now here. If the state offices are closed and or SAD 55 or delayed, the town office does follow the same schedule. We try as soon as we find out, we will post it on our Facebook page, the website, and all the local news channels.
So are you have a son at SAD 55, so you must get it from the superintendent.
I get a text message.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And we did put a sign out front saying that as well. So.
So I don't want to be picky, but what if there's a 2-hour delay for SAD 55, but state offices are closed?
We follow suit and we will be delayed.
You'll be delayed.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And we will also post the delays
Yeah.
as well.
Okay.
So, yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. I'm not sure, it sounds like you guys went into depth of the last snowstorm. I did take a couple photos on Taylor City Inn. I did talk to the bus company today. Mountain Road really does need some sand. Kelly said it was very slippery today. That's where she went off the road, so
Right.
Mountain Road is major with the buses right now,
Yeah.
so. We did do some updates on the website. We blew up the plow map color with the colors on it. and tried making it very apparent what contractor was for what section and who to call. I did talk to Maya, and he was a little frustrated because he's very busy doing his route, and he's getting calls on the other section. So we're trying to make his life easier and everybody else's life easier by doing that.
Great.
That's about it. We did want to ask, we had an instance today, Mr. Mellon wanted to come in for the selectman's office, and he called and left a message, and he had to call Debbie directly, so we called him back and said, call back and call Debbie, and we'll reroute you. We didn't know maybe in the future, we could have 2 phone systems, like press 1 for town clerk, press 2 for selectman's office.
Well, let's just talk about that for a second.
That's been
Yeah.
discussed.
Okay.
It has been,
That's fine,
and
and
I was here for it, and I can't tell you exactly why we didn't end up with it. Tiffany was looking into it, and that's about all I can tell you, is we looked into it, and I can't remember if it was money or why we didn't do it. Do you remember?
I don't think David liked the idea.
I'm not for it. I mean,
I was for it only because I thought it would eliminate some of the problems with a call getting answered twice. In other words, the town clerk.
Has to bother them and bother.
Right, it just, every call for us has to go through the town clerk, which
Right.
is, kills their time. I mean, so maybe that's something we could explore again.
Yeah.
It just got brought up today because they left a message when we were closed. They said, call me back. I said, okay. So we called him back, and we couldn't transfer him, and we're like, oh, just call back again, and then we'll reroute the call to
Right.
Debbie, because he had to talk to her to get on the agenda or workshop or whatever she wanted
Cindy
to do.
did call.
So,
And that's the first time that anyone has ever left a message. It's always been an email, or I've
Yeah.
been here to take the call,
so
so.
it was just
Yeah.
a comment and
Yeah.
something that would reroute it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an option to,
I just hate menus. I mean, I know this would be a short one.
2 options is
But-
not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad, but it's one more than I
But
think we
knowing who
need.
it is that they have to talk to, because most of the time they don't know.
Well, general assistance too, I mean, that's a privacy issue. I mean, we don't really want to know. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're on one line, we can't really, can you call back in 5 minutes? I don't know, what's the severity of it? I mean, if they could reroute to your
They
answering
can call
machine,
back.
they could.
Yeah, they can call back.
but that's something that
Okay,
makes it easier for everybody.
yeah, but now, let me chime in. Danielle, what you just talked about is a little expanded where it can go to a voicemail. Now,
That'd be great.
well, yeah, the problem is there are no machines unless we go to a full-blown, what's called a PBX, which is an internal phone system, where everything comes in on one line, basically, and gets a little more expensive. Then we can't do that because of the way the rollover of lines works. I tried to do that. We have voicemail available on our phone, yeah, through Consolidated. They can take voicemails. The problem is that you can't have mailboxes. No, you can't have the voicemail when you have that rollover from one line to another.
Didn't even know we had a voicemail.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we
Okay.
don't use it. It's not enabled because of that.
Okay.
Yeah. See, the answer machine we have will give you voicemail on both lines, but no mailboxes.
All right.
Yeah.
So maybe we can look at that from, from your standpoint,
Yeah,
Danielle.
we'll see what comes up. I mean, if
Deb, because you guys are the 2
find
main
another instance.
It
participants.
doesn't bother me, so whatever, you know.
We don't have 2 lines going into one room either.
Right, no,
so-
I don't even hear the phone ringing here,
So
so.
you only get the end result, though.
I never know there's a call unless they let me know that, you know,
Well, that's the-
it buzz over, yeah. But I wouldn't know how to put a phone call back to them either, so.
Yeah, and just for the record, if you call someone, you can transfer that call the same way you transfer an incoming call.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so they didn't have to call back, just for whatever it's worth.
Just
If it does come to, because I call, every time I call, I say, give me to Debbie, and you gotta go throw me to
Right.
Debbie, you know what I mean? If that's happening, I don't, how many times a day does it happen that you pick up the phone for Debbie? 5, 10?
there's half and half.
Twenty?
If anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would say it's up to you two. You guys are answering the
We'll see how it
phone.
goes. I mean,
Yeah.
but
And
just
it-
something that happened today was a little.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's It's on our wish list, how about
Okay.
that?
Well, wishes can come true.
You got a printer, so.
You got the put right.
Keep going.
2022 taxes, we did increase by $4,000 or so. 91.8 has been received.
Excellent. Excuse me. The number of on your foreclosure list is down from a typical year, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
typically
usually have
send
about
out
30 or so.
30 or
right?
32.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could be that they're a little later this year because we delayed the taxes, I delayed the liens, excuse me, for 2020 because COVID was rampant. And so I just put it out a little bit. I don't know if that has any effect on it. Because the
Sure.
lien notices, you've got a 4-month window
Right.
that you can send them out in. Typically, we're foreclosing early in February. Foreclosure date on this, I think, is early in March. And the problem that runs into is April 1st. If somebody's gonna buy a property back, that basically gives them 3 weeks to
Difficult,
buy
yeah.
it back. So, anyways, yeah.
All right, that's it, young lady?
I'm good. Do you need anything from me?
Thank you. Do we have anything for you?
I don't, at this point.
Jess, you got any?
Nope.
Thanks.
You escape again. All right, so we're going to some updates. I know David's been chomping at the, no. Dave, I know you had something you wanted to,
I have a few things. Our Boston Post cane holder passed. So, Ms. Milliken,
Oh, she did?
yeah, she did.
I did not know
A
that.
week and a half or so ago, yeah.
so who's the next?
I think it might be Annie Marilyn. Or I guess that would be Marilyn Lord to
Yes.
the rest of the.
Annie Marilyn.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
don't
not
know.
certain.
I can get together with
check.
Danielle and we can go through and take a
It
look.
seems like there might be somebody else that's right there, though. I'm not
There
certain how
is,
old
but I
she
think
is.
you may be right. It may be Marilyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I took the elected officials class last week. It was a Zoom class. And just a couple of points I want to make. Let's see. It turns out that, one of them, they said make sure you're not overinsured. And what they're referring to there is that the Maine Tort Claims Act provides liability to the town and officials. If you are insured for more than what the Maine Tort Claims Act allows,
It's wasted?
no, you're liable for that. It's one of those, believe me, there were all kinds of questions on it. There's $400,000 in liability for town coverage through this Maine Tort Claims Act. If you have $500,000, you're liable for that $100,000. Or your insurance company is.
So it would behoove the insurance companies not to sell that extra.
Right. And who knows, maybe we don't have that, I don't know. But anyways, that's something that I'm sure the Maine Municipal Insurance Risk, and I'm not getting the name right, but that's what we're looking at.
Right, okay.
Yeah, knows. And there was one other thing that I wanted to mention.
Leamington?
No, that's not from this. I'm talking about the class. I've got all kinds of other things. All right, I can't find. But anyways, a lot of it was about freedom of access, and I didn't get much new out of that. So, anyways. The phone, we did have a problem with the phone. Anybody who's on that tried to call in the last 3 weeks and the phone just rang and rang and rang, we apologize. What was happening was our second line was not giving us a ringtone. So we didn't know people were calling. So if you either called on the 4559 or somebody was on the primary line, the 4558, and it rolled over, we didn't know you were there. So
That's what happened to you, Jesse, when you tried calling us, I think.
yeah, so that got fixed today.
Yeah, it just rang and rang and rang and rang.
Yeah.
One day I called that Wednesday
Yeah.
or something like
If
that.
we happen to pick it up to maybe make an outgoing call, we'd hear you, we'd know you were there.
Yeah.
And you could use it to make outgoing calls, so I knew that the line was good. It was just the ringtone that wasn't happening. Okay, I spoke last week about tree growth reminder letters. I put those together this morning. They'll go in tomorrow's mail. There are 34 of them going. One person has 5 properties that are out of conformity. Compliance, yeah. One and 2 others have 2, I believe. Rest of them are singles. But these are things we need to follow up on for those that don't do their follow-up. We talked about plowing. Kathy, who was in last week to talk about LD 2003, mentioned a meeting that Leamington was getting together, and that's happening on February 6th at 7:15. It's actually their planning board that's organizing this, and Southern Maine Regional SMRPC, yeah. They'll be there. And they're the ones with all the information. So the board should probably talk about if somebody or some bodies can go, and I guess Debbie forwarded that to the planning board also, that information, which is good.
Oh, I thought it was a Zoom meeting. I don't know.
No,
Oh.
it's in person.
Oh,
Yeah.
I suppose she said it was Zoom.
That was a Monday.
That's a Monday? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 6th is, that's right. Yeah.
Does anyone want to attend? Need to let them know.
Oh, we need to let them know?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, they want to have.
What
enough
Monday was it?
materials.
it's 2 weeks from yesterday.
I'll go if we had talked about splitting up the extra meetings type of thing. So for a quarter, one of us would go, just to get a flavor of what's going on.
That was to the planning board.
Well, planning board, appeals board.
We don't want to throw somebody to every meeting. I mean, I probably, in the summertime, I won't be able to do
Well, I
that.
know,
you
that's
know
what
I'm
we were
saying?
thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you probably couldn't do, wouldn't make sense for you in the summertime. David did it the
Right.
last quarter.
Yeah.
I said I'd be happy to do it this quarter.
Monday.
But if you guys don't want to do that, that's fine. If you
Monday the
wanna just
5th? Well, I don't think
go
one person
individual.
should have to go to every meeting, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every different meeting. It's one thing to go to just the planning board meeting, but to go to all the different meetings.
Yeah, I mean, this is in Leamington, so it's not
Right.
local either.
Do you want to, does anyone, I mean, I'll go, but does anyone else want to go? I mean,
I'll go with you.
okay.
What time is it again, Dave?
6:30, is it?
No, 7:15.
7:15.
On a Monday?
Yeah.
My luck, that'll be Ronan will have a basketball game that night.
Well, Debbie, why don't you tell them 2 people will be there, and if for
Okay.
some reason one of you 2 can't go, I will
So
go.
Monday the 5th,
6.
6th.
Yeah.
We can carpool if I can go, Ed. How's that?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Only way I'll ever get to ride in a
I'll pick you up at
BMW.
your
It's the
domicile.
only way I'll ever get to ride in a BMW.
Now that's a question. Do you think it's necessary? There's a site walk coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Does anyone think a select person should be there, or
I don't think it's
it's
necessary.
just, this is a planning board function? We
Where
don't
was
know
the site?
that.
It's
Where
an
was
appeals
this?
board function.
Or appeals board, whatever it might be.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the appeals board public hearing because I have some issues with that.
Okay.
So if you want, I can just follow
Is this the
through
one?
on that.
Is this the one on North Road?
Yeah, the barn.
Is it proper to ask you what the issue is?
Well, the issue is that their appeal asks them to make it designated a conforming lot so that the new owner can build a house. I think they should just put
Make
an
it a-
application in
for a
for a
non-
new house on a non-conforming lot.
Yeah.
Because our zoning ordinance already says
Right,
that lots that are non-conforming by road frontage can be built on.
right.
The problem is, our zoning ordinance says if they're improved lots, which this one has to be considered, then you can make changes to the existing building. It doesn't say you can add a building, which is, I'm sure, what they're gonna wanna do.
That was my assumption also,
Yeah.
because the butter got a notice and called me and asked what was going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And I said, I can only assume that they're gonna put a house in.
But if you start calling non-conforming lots conforming, because the appeals board said so, I just think that has more implications than we want to do.
We're gonna call it a non-conforming lot with a variance.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, exactly, I agree. So if you want, I'll follow through on the appeal
All right,
on that.
it's up to you.
That's fine with me, yep. Yep. Then the last thing on my list is the Stanley Building. I did, from the parking lot of Walmart in North Conway, listen to the Zoom meeting last week, and it was very frustrating. We had Mr. Lowry, not Mr. not our attorney, but the mortgage holder's attorney, whose last name is Lowry. And he, actually, the judge asked him if he had anything to add, and he said no, any documentation, that is. And David Lowry said, well, we tried to contact the mortgage holder, and we couldn't for so long that I don't think anything else should be allowed by him. Anyways, that worked out. But then, oh, no, I'm wrong. There was something. The judge said, okay, you can submit that, but our other two attorneys have 21 days to respond to that. Then, the Stanley Building's attorney said, well, I also have some things that I want to submit additional. And the judge allowed that those have to be submitted within 21 days, and then the other two attorneys have 21 more days to make their response to that.
Month and a half.
So, folks, I'm just fed up with this. I'm not going to recommend strongly, although I'm that close to recommending strongly that we need to say, you guys either buy the mill or we're done. We're going to go back out to bid, or we're going to tear it down or something. I mean, this is just draining us financially.
I completely agree with that, David, to the extent that I don't think we put it back out to bid, because we're likely going to run into the same exact fiasco if we put it back out to bid.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that, because who's going to come look at it and say, well, why didn't the last guys buy it? And they're going to look at this paper trail that's this thick that they're not going to read through.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you're probably right.
I agree. I'll go on record saying, I've been saying it around town, that I think our next step is, if this does fall through, is we try to remedy the situation and make it into a beautiful place for people to go and sit and look at the river.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I think we're at that point. If the Mounces can't follow through at this point, I think that is, we collectively get together with a town meeting and talk about it and have a vote on it, or whatever we need to do. But we need to set this deadline for the Mounces and move on with our lives.
There was a town meeting 15 years ago?
Right. And it was, what,
A third of the people said, turn it into a park.
Yeah.
A third said, develop the whole thing, and a third said, develop part of it.
It may just be the people that I'm talking with, but more people are leaning that way all the time, I do believe.
Well, I think people are getting sick of just seeing this.
I'm sick of listening to this. I will not bend one bit to give a septic, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Not at this point. After everything we've been through, I wouldn't give an inch for a septic for that building unless it has a new owner that's willing to work with us. It's just, this is ridiculous.
Yep. So, like I said, I'm that close to strongly suggesting we
Do something different.
do something different. Yeah. I had a
Different
saying
route.
that I was going to use, but I won't because it's not appropriate. And I know this is going to get the ire of the Mounces up. I'm sorry, but this has gotten ridiculous.
Do you want me to notify the town attorney that that's the way this discussion's going now,
Well,
or?
nothing has changed right now.
We need to set a deadline, though, and that's the deadline.
Well, we
the
need to
problem-
know what
This could
their
go.
attorney, Scott said their attorney wanted to talk about some things, right? From our latest proposal. Well, I think we have to hear what they want to talk about. I mean, but I feel there's things that are non-negotiable with us, and one of them was the money put in escrow was for capital improvements. That was, been that way for 7 years, 6 years, whatever. And I don't think anything's changed. I mean, way back when, there was talk of $250,000 being in escrow. And then you had more flexibility, people could spend it for different things maybe. But when it's only 100,000, it's not a overwhelming number that
Yeah.
should be.
See, the other thing is that what's frustrating about this is that this determination by the court is only on the injunction against our
Doing something.
doing something.
Yep.
It is not permanent. There's going to be another one of these for a permanent injunction.
Well,
Because the judge very explicitly asked at the beginning of the meeting whether they being the lawyers, were expecting him to rule on the temporary injunction and the permanent injunction. And at least two of them, if not all three of them, said just the temporary one.
I know, I understand your
Yeah.
frustration.
Yeah.
Anyways, so right now it's looking like a month and a half,
Potentially, yep.
and unless the Mouses decide to take the bull by the horn and say, the hell with it, we're gonna purchase the property and work with whatever
So
comes out.
so we need to, the three of us need to have a discussion and set a date, I think, of this is it. No?
Well, I thought the date was when this meeting was, but
The way
That's come and
I
gone.
think the date has to be predicated on what the courts say.
No, but that's where we're running into the problem,
Yeah.
Well, I
kind of.
know.
that's
So let's
We
say-
gotta say,
nothing we have control of in
Right.
the courts.
Well,
That's
I
the
know,
problem.
we have control of nothing.
So let's get control of something.
there's gonna be no love lost for me if we have to do something different.
All right, so,
No, I agree with you, Jess, that I wouldn't mind an ice park or something, except the last number we looked at to get rid of the mill, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, we probably could have half had it down by now if we hadn't paid all these lawyers' fees.
It was like $500,000.
I understand that, and it's escalated since
So,
then.
probably
but-
$1 million. Pick a number.
yeah,
Well, be a nice park.
Yeah.
all right, that's my say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Just one word, we've had communication with our vendor on the audio-visual. Different person gave us a quote originally, which we felt was a little too high. So we've asked him to come back in, re-quote, maybe go from an A+ system down to a B+ system. But let's get some numbers and see what can be done. So hopefully he's coming in next Tuesday at, I think I said 3 o'clock, for a workshop. Dave, you'll be here, I'm sure.
I assume so, yeah.
And Jesse, you,
Next
just
week.
just to make sure he covers all the things that we think are necessary. David will be good at getting rid of extraneous charges, because he knows what they are and we don't.
Me.
So, so if it's too much, we can just blame David. No,
That's fine.
no, it isn't. No one gets blamed. Okay, folks, that's, we have no guest today, which is unusual. But we want to thank you for listening. Hopefully, we all learned something. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Ed.